transfer season's madness. Clubs are scrambling, players are in limbo, and rumors are flying. And let's dive into that. And the biggest one has to be Alexander Isak. Is he staying at Newcastle or is he moving to Liverpool?
I think he will stay. Newcastle has the richest owner. They have the richest owner in European football, so they can afford to look off from that 120 million.
What about PSR and FFP coming into play its game?
And they can think about that, but if you take Isak away, Isak almost single-handedly carried them last season. So Wilson didn't renew his contract, so they cannot afford to lose two forward at the same time. So we have to consider that too. Because if you look at it from just Isak perspective, they just lost Wilson. It's not wise for them to lose Isak. And it's not as if he's running into the final year of his contract. He still have extra 1 year. Which Hazard had 1 year, and Chelsea still got over 100 million. It depends on the competition coming for him. And when you look at it, there's every tendency that next season Madrid might go for a striker. And he's one guy that has played a lot in the Spanish La Liga. So I still think that he will stay this season. Then if he wants to move, if they don't convince him to extend, then he moves next season.
Okay, talking from the angle of a club, as a fan of a club who has struggled without a striker, and that is one of the one of the main reasons why Arsenal struggled in winning something tangible at the front of it. Yeah. Do you think it's going to be a big miss for Newcastle should Isak join Liverpool?
Definitely, it's going to be a very, very, very big miss for them because I don't see them, replacing Alexander Isak with any other striker that would definitely give them those number of goals. He has been giving Liverpool. Newcastle in the last 2-3 seasons. Take last season for example. I think he scored about 23 league goal, and it was one of the reasons why they made it to the Champions League. And them losing him now, it's going to be a very, very big blow to their own ambition. They're in the Champions League, and for me, if I were Alexander Isak, I think I have to stay with Newcastle. Given the fact that they are also in the Champions League and they're also strengthening. Recently, they brought in Anthony Elanga, and they are trying to replace the Callum Wilson with the guy from
Ekitike.
So the deal might also, but for Newcastle, I think they should do everything possible to make sure they keep hold of Alexander Isak.
So we all agree that he is a vital member of the Newcastle side, and he is the most important player in the Newcastle side. Okay, moving on. What would Isak be the right striker profile for Liverpool under Arne Slot? Yes, they struggled with Darwin Núñez, and not also to the demise of the Liverpool Diogo Jota. So that void is being open right now. And do you think Isak will actually fit that position better?
I think there's no team in Europe that Isak will not play. It can be an out-for-out number 9. It can build up with the team. He's one unique striker that there are only few strikers like that now in the world of football. So I think that, Isak will be a great addition. For them to want to cough out £120 million to break the British record transfer fee, they know what they are trying to get.
Okay, lastly on Newcastle, Newcastle showing off that they are not interested in selling Isak. Is that a way of showing they are now a big club who won't sell their stars?
Of course, and that's how you make a statement, because if you should lose Alexander Isak now, I can assure you the coming season, players like Bruno Guimaraes will definitely leave, because when he looks at the team, if you could say somebody like Alexander Isak, what's stopping you from not selling Bruno Guimaraes also? And we know Bruno Guimaraes also. He has been a very, very good player for Newcastle. There are a lot of teams that have been after him, but I believe because of Newcastle made it to the Champions League for the coming season, that is why there has not been a lot of attention on their players trying to move. Because most of those players, they will tell you want to play Champions League football, and now the club they are inside the Champions. I mean they've qualified for the Champions League, so they don't have any more reason other than now maybe wages, which I believe Newcastle can definitely pay those guys. So for Newcastle, I think the best way for them to remain very very relevant in the league and in the footballing world is for them to make sure they keep their best players.
Okay, but they're linked to Ugo Ekitike, as we said. But how do you think they're going to utilize these two men if they are keeping both of them, or if they're having both of them in the squad? Because they look like same profile to me.
No, a bit of a same profile, but one is a mature version of what the other can be. But the thing is, Isak can operate from the supporting striker. He can be the striker. Ekitike too can do the same thing. You can play 4-4-2.
So you see both of them starting.
It's
possible. I think I've seen Alexander Isak and
Wilson
play together.
One thing is, Isak too, he has an injury history, but not that bad. But at least there are some games he won't be available most times. I've not seen Isak play a full season without going out injured.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It's a long season, so they will keep interchanging.
Okay, we're on straight to the North London and Emirates is where we are going to talk about Ethan Nwaneri, who still loyal to Arsenal. How significant is this long-term commitment from a youngster like Nwaneri?
It's a very, very good one for Arsenal as a football club, and for Nwaneri also. I should still remember about 2 or 3 seasons ago when he made his debut in the league. Becoming the youngest player to play in the Premier League, and it now took him again after about another season for us to start seeing him playing regularly, and you could see that with the right mindset, the right motivation from the manager, from the club as a whole, you see that this guy is definitely going to be a big one. So for us now losing this kind of player, it would have been a very very another sad situation, like when we allow what's his name now to join Manchester United, Chido Obi Martins, and the likes of Evan. Yeah, though Evan was sold, but the amount they had to sell him because
Chelsea.
And cool. So I think it's a very very good one for us now, and for the boy himself, and because though he wants a playing time, and which I believe they've been able to convince him, because he's going to fight for his place now with Martin Odegaard. Yeah, he's going to play as the number 10. So I think he will definitely get it.
Right. Yes, it's good on the paper for Arsenal that they are keeping one of their most promising assets in Ethan Nwaneri. We saw him in the couple in the few games they played last season. That yes, even at the age of 17 or 18, he is ready to play. But for how long can they, for how long can Arteta keep these young guys? We saw Dorman also, who is also interested in playing, he wants more playing time at Arsenal. They will surely be asking the questions that they want to play. At this age, you would have seen the Barcelona young guy, Lamine Yamal, starting, game at the age of 16, 17, going full season, being one of the most important player at their club. So what do you think, what does this say about Arsenal youth policy or project under Mikel Arteta?
I think that I don't see where Arsenal will keep those guys for long. Because when you just brought in Madueke 5 years, and you look at Saka, those two guys are in the road and Nwaneri's favorite position. I think one of the smartest things Arsenal did was to confirm that Skelly to extend his contract as soon as possible. But Nwaneri, I think he will still leave. Especially this coming season will be a very very decisive season for him, because it's just because at this stage of his career he needs to play more for his value to rise, and if his value rise he can get more wage, as in higher wage, personal times and all those things. So I think that yes, he can stay now, because if he's on the last year of his contract, the club will not really profit much from his transfer. But I think that over time, not long from now, he will still leave, except if Noni or Saka didn't live up to expectations.
Okay, Paulo, this is a straight question. Do you think Nwaneri can become the next Bukayo Saka now?
Definitely, and like I said earlier on, with the right guidance, from the club as a whole, he will definitely become the next big star, at Arsenal, and emulate Bukayo Saka. And like I've been saying for some time now, most people, for those young players, they just need to calm down and wait for their time. Their time will definitely come, because if you look at Bukayo Saka also, it started from a very, very humble beginning. We saw him starting from the left back, playing 10, 15 minutes. Gradually, he was moved to the number 7, and in fact, even when they gave him the number 7 jersey, people were saying why he has not. But look at Bukayo Saka. He has been one of Arsenal's best players in the past 2-3 seasons now. So I think Nwaneri should just calm down, and his time will come. And when the time comes, he should grab it.
Okay, let's talk about him. Moving to the national team at the under-21, he was not an important player for England in their run to winning that competition. I think he was benched by Elliott, yes, who was actually pivotal for the England under-21 national team in winning that Euros. Now, in the senior national team setup, there is Noni Madueke. There is what's it called, Bukayo Saka. Also, these are two players he's competing with in his club,
There's
and now
Palmer.
same in the national team. There's Cole Palmer also, and a couple of players coming out. Don't you think he should be thinking of the Super Eagles of Nigeria right now?
I don't think he will think of it. Because, see, one thing about those guys is a lot of them love the Three Lions. They love representing their national team, even if it's 1 or 2 call-ups. They treasure it. But I think if he's smart enough, and see the pipeline, I think he should be switching allegiance. But the security in the fact that you represent the Three Lions is not the same thing as the Super Eagles. There's actually security once you are capped as a Three Lion. But those things are there too. So
Well, there's also the pride of playing for your national team. So Nwaneri and the likes of Tosin Adarabioyo, I'd love to see them play for the Super Eagles of
too long.
Nigeria. Yeah, we're still waiting for him to make his decisions. Just 27 is in the right peak of his career for a defender. For his central back, I think he's in the right peak of his career.
Maybe
Okay, was Ethan Nwaneri right to stay at Arsenal, or should he have tested the waters elsewhere? Let us hear your view in the comment section. And still on Arsenal, we talk about Viktor Gyökeres. I'm closing in on Arsenal. How does Gyökeres fit into Arsenal's attacking style? I'm talking about you, Paulo.
Well, that's another question, that will needs to be answered. And once it is confirmed that it's signed for Arsenal, though there are a lot of reports that the deal has been agreed, but as far as it has not been obeyed, anything can still happen. Yeah, that's it for you.
Well, I think the last of us had a real striker had to be the likes of the time they had yes, when they had Aubameyang.
Yeah.
We've seen Arsenal, had Thierry Henry, had the likes of Van Persie, had Adebayor played for this club, and all of a sudden you just move to the likes of I watch Edward play for Arsenal.
I think it's about the managers. Arsenal had my playmaker Arteta, one of the manager that I don't think he really believes in a proper number 9. I think the fans are trying to, are the reason why he's pushing to make sure he gets it, because if you look at him, he believes that everybody can actually get those goals, and spread those goals around. But talking about Viktor Gyökeres, I think if it comes to Arsenal, he's definitely going to get the goals and the service. I just hope it lives up to expectation, from where he's coming from, and get those goals. At least me myself, once it is confirmed that yes, I will definitely set a target for him. If he can, yeah.
Okay, you're right. Talking about Arsenal coming. Gyökeres, is it the striker Arsenal fans have been waiting for? Is it the one, the Jesus they've actually been waiting for in that club?
Will it
be their savior?
I don't know yet, because we've seen big names jump ship. Look at Darwin Núñez coming from the same Portugal and got to the Premier League, and it was a black market. So I think that Arsenal is getting a good player that have experienced the English game, has gone to Sporting and has become a man. His game has improved. He can do a whole lot, but can Arteta find a suitable way that they will play to feed that guy and get the goals? Another question begging for answers. Will Arsenal get the deal over the line? Now, where they are at now is Arsenal is willing to play 63.5 guaranteed field, and the 10 million add-ons Sporting is looking for.
They're saying it's not realistic.
Now, The add-ons Arsenal was bringing were difficult add-ons, but Sporting wants easy add-ons. Maybe like number of games, ISO scorer,
finish second position.
You get. So the issue there now is the strong point. Even the management of Gyökeres had to forfeit some percentage of the deal. Gyökeres had to forfeit 2 million of his salary, and Arsenal is still dragging.
It reminds me of the time they were chasing
so the thing is
Raheem Sterling from Liverpool.
The thing is this: Arsenal is not a serious club. Honestly, this guy sacrificed his salary, and you are still dragging on the remainder of the deal. What is holding it? Dragging add-ons? When you look at all these things, you have to analyze it and see the seriousness of these things. See, when you know that you are suffering from... Look at Chelsea. Newcastle was dragging with João Pedro. Chelsea went in and got the man they need. Look, if not for João Pedro, we might not have won that Club World Cup. Because look at those clinical finish. Look at the final. Look at that finish. Look at the movement. So if you identify your man, you go there and get the man. That's how serious teams behave. Well, as far as I'm concerned, Arsenal, if not for the relationship between Chelsea and Arsenal, Noni Madueke won't be an Arsenal player till now. Well, because Chelsea only wanted 55. Arsenal was dragging, and you know the good, my younger brother and all this things. And Chelsea just gave for 48 million. And see, this thing, I don't see Arsenal as a serious team yet.
Okay, so about talking about Gyökeres, I think there's a confirmation that he'll be having his Arsenal medical comes on Friday. So it looks like yes, both sides have been able to find that agreement that has been eluding them. So congratulations to Arsenal getting Viktor Gyökeres from Sporting Lisbon, a formidable striker on his own. But what does this mean for the likes of Gabriel Jesus and Kai Havertz at Arsenal?
Well, Kai Havertz will definitely, play as his, go back to his wing, which is play as the number 8, and it means that he might be coming up from the bench now.
Because you have the Ben Rice.
Yeah,
there's
be coming up from
there's
the bench. What's his name? There's even Mikel Merino. Also, so it means that he is going to, be playing more from the bench these days. And talking about Gabriel Jesus, I think they might let him go, but I'm not sure though because he's out injured now. So I just want, I wish Mikel Arteta will definitely keep all those players so that we can have a squad there, because it affected Arsenal also towards ending of last season. At the time we were playing what's this name? There's this academy, but if you look at Arsenal bench, in fact there was no any big name on the bench again. So I wish they can keep them, but at least allow a player like Zinchenko to leave.
Score depth is very much important. So it's Viktor Gyökeres, the final piece of the puzzle for Arsenal title ambition. So you can go to the comment section and tell us why you think about that. So straight to the Manchester Old Trafford this time around is Diego Douglas Luiz. That is United versus Everton in a tug-of-war for the former Aston Villa man who currently plays for Juventus in the Italian Serie A. How the mighty has fallen. Everton now dragging a player with Manchester United.
So very funny that there will be a time where a player will now be considering either to Everton or Manchester United. How the mighty has fallen. But yeah, it's one of those things in football. It's like a reality check. We saw Leeds go down. They've not really come up to who they used to be. But let's see if Man U will come back stronger. And yes, they need a serious overhaul. And they've only gotten one. 20-something days to the beginning of the league.
Yeah, I think they're trying to be very much careful because the players they want out are not, clubs are not coming for them. Jadon Sancho was only Juventus said they are only interested in paying £50 million. That is the highest they can go for Jadon Sancho. You have Garnacho who is still hanging on there. There's Rashford who is also still hanging on there. So they need to make some sales before they can, put down those money on buying players.
Well, they need to make some sales. The guy they were interested in, they put in a 70 million on Garnacho. Who will pay that for Garnacho?
And that's it, just to to make their PSR healthy.
That's what
they're interested in right now.
But right now their PSR is close to 200 million.
It's
PSL gap, like the range. the amount they can still
They can spend.
and they're still okay. It's close to, I think, about 190 something or 80 something million, and they've only spent 60 on Kunha. So I think that they need to just try to maybe go into those South America and get cheaper players.
I think that is probably a better option.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paulo. Which team suits on Douglas Luiz more? We saw him play at Aston Villa, though he has struggled at Juventus. Is it Everton rebuilds United midfield overall? Where do you think he'll play better?
I think if it's about playing time, I think he's going to get a lot of playing time with Everton, because if you look at Everton, I don't think what's his name, Idris Aganage is better than him, and I think they'll be losing player like Abdoulaye Dikori, if I'm correct. I think he's not with Everton anymore. So, but if it's about playing time, where the pressure won't be too much on him and where he's going to enjoy his football, I think it's Everton. But because if he should join Manchester United, they already have Manuel Ugarte and the likes of Casemiro, Kobe Maino, all of them, they can play that wing also. So there's going to be a lot of competition for him, and there will be a lot of expectation on him, because playing for Manchester United is not an easy team, to be honest. They're one of the biggest teams, if not the biggest in England, and the pressure that is going to be on him, with coupled with the fact that Manchester United as a team, they've not been great lately, so there will be a lot of expectation on the team. But for Douglas Luiz, his move from Aston Villa to Juventus has not been a very, very good one for him, because he has struggled with playing time, and even when he was playing with Juve, he has not really, so now if you are to make a move, you look for a club that is going to suit you at the same time, get the playing time. And to me, I think it should be Everton, but it's all about the money. Can Everton afford to pay the wages and outbid Manchester United? I don't think so.
That is a big question. And what role would he realistically be playing at Manchester United?
Yeah, they need that central midfielder that will soak pressure and dictate the pace of the game. And he has experience. He did a lot of good job at Aston Villa, and at Juventus he has not been bad. So I think that will come in good for them. I think Ruben Amorim is cooking.
Let's see what Amorim is cooking.
No, I'm serious. When you see
the caliber of players,
when you see the way Man U is trying to handle their transfer, it's not about getting 20. It's about getting somebody that is not like, for example, Eric Ten Hag, bring him in. This one, bring him. No, they are very picky with their targets now.
They are being linked to Nicholas Jackson also.
Yeah, they are being linked. It's just one of the players they shortlist. Not that they really, maybe worst come to worst, they don't have any other choice. And one thing a lot of Chelsea fans need to understand is Nicolas Jackson has a fantastic build-up.
Yeah, and the potential is there.
He gets into position.
I think he will actually get better, playing and training with, quality players.
There's competition now for him. And that's why Chelsea said it's not for sale. Chelsea said it's not for sale because
investment, 2 years investment.
The two number 9 is Liam and Jackson. João Pedro is just a forward that can play anywhere across the line. And with the fact that Gittins is the only left winger we have, João Pedro can play there too. Jackson too can play there. But Liam Delap is the only out number 9.
I think the Chelsea manager will actually be using João Pedro more the same way Hansi Flick is using Rafinha, utilizing Rafinha, playing across the line, free roll across anywhere on the
and
wing.
he can also do the job Isak is doing at Newcastle. You see that is why Newcastle was on his heels. He's one player that can play like Isak. He can grow to become another Isak.
Okay, back to the Douglas Luiz discussion. You can go to our comment section and tell us would Douglas Luiz thrive better at Manchester United or Everton. You can drop your comment in our comment section. And straight to the champions, the defending champions of the EPL, the current champions, anyway you love to say, the race of Liverpool. We'll talk about the ambitious shortlist: Rashford, Watkins, Wissa, Osimhen, Ekitike, and what's it called, Isak, are all being linked to Liverpool as it stands. How realistic are these targets for Liverpool under Arne Slot's system?
I think for Liverpool, I think Isak is far-fetched as far as I'm concerned. I don't think they will get him. But I think that they can get either, because they have the financial muscle.
Yeah, I don't know why they're not really going for Osimhen.
Yeah, they can get Ekitike or probably Osimhen. But they might have an issue with Osimhen, you know what? Napoli wanted Darwin Núñez. They did what Napoli used to do to other teams. They were like frustrating.
But you know, it's easy for them to get. I think even that Darwin Núñez and Osimhen swap will have been better. Because yes, they'll easily get 40 million from Napoli for Darwin Núñez.
No, they were expecting in excess of 60 to 70 million
seriously?
for Darwin Núñez. Yes.
All right.
So they were expecting 60 to 70 million for Darwin Núñez.
I think 40 is realistic.
And when they put forward the deal of exchange with Osimhen, Napoli was still asking for an humongous amount for sign-on fee plus Darwin Núñez. So I think that Napoli is not ready to shift goalposts. But one good thing about the Osimhen issue is that there's a buyout clause. So even if the club doesn't like it, the buyout clause is out in the media. So you can just go there, pay the buyout clause, and Napoli will have no choice. The only reason Galatasaray is dragging is that they are not ready to pay the clause the way Napoli it is stated in the contract. If Liverpool goes in and attacks the way they attacked against Florian Wirtz, they will get Osimhen. And I think that Wissa too, Brentford will frustrate them. Brentford will not want to lose two key men up front in the transfer window. Bramo already said he's leaving. They just lost their manager. Too many uncertainties in the Premier League. They don't want to get relegated.
They also lost Nosgard, so Arsenal.
So the two guys that I think that Liverpool can easily go. Number one for me is that Ekitike. But if they are willing to take a risk on a youngster that is not proven yet, with that, and they will pay more for Ekitike than Osimhen. Number two is Osimhen. Buyout clause is there, very clear. Osimhen wanted, if they can pay him,
and he actually wants to move to the EPL.
Yes, but with the amount he's looking for, if they can pay him that salary, fine. Then brings in Watkins. Aston Villa needs money.
But the age, 29.
But the age is not on his side. But another player that is also on the short list is Rashford. And you know that Man U and Liverpool, they are water and fire. They don't want to see each other. So I think the best bet on this list, experience, proving everything, number one is Osimhen.
Okay, Paulo.
But number two is Ekitike.
Okay, Paulo, we've seen the list as aligned there by Yemaite. Which of those names fit Liverpool identity and the needs the most right now?
Well, probably I will still say Viktor Osimhen and Alexander Isak. That is if they can get him. But Alexander Isak will be the best because he has played in the league.
Like they will get Isak.
Yeah, but I don't think so. You know why I'm saying Liverpool will not get him? I don't think Liverpool will be able to bring out another 120 million after.
They are the defending champions.
They've already.
They have a reach.
You don't know where the transfer issue is.
They have a reach.
They already emailed Newcastle their intention to pay 120 million yesterday morning. 120 million confirmed. But Newcastle now are not willing to sell.
I hope it's true, but I don't think Liverpool can afford that because if you look at, they've spent without Alexander Isak presently, they spent close to 2 something already.
They didn't spend last summer, so they have.
I understand. It doesn't matter if they didn't spend last season or not. But at the same time, they still have wages to pay also. And if you are bringing Alexander Isak, you also consider the wages. The amount is going to be paid also. That's
that now for Liverpool,
the main issue also.
They have a plus. It's not as if they will have a loophole for Diogo Jota too.
No, but that's still paying. They're paying
the family will be seen as CSR.
He's out of the contract.
He's out of, but it will be seen as CSR.
Yeah, like, but it's still from the club team's account.
What I'm saying is this: when they go to court and when they spell it out, it will be counted under CSR. Not really about the ingoings and outgoing inventory and stocks and all those things. So when you look at the way it is, they know that they have to replace it because he died. Unforeseen circumstance. So that will help them in their PSL and FFP threshold. So I think that, this is not about if. They already emailed Newcastle of their willingness to pay 120. You are saying if they don't have the money, they won't send that audacious. That's an audacious bid. After spending 116.5, I think, on Wits, and they want to break it again in the same transfer window.
Well, for me, I think Liverpool just have to take it easy because you cannot spend. No.
They want to remain relevant. They are not Arsenal.
They are relevant. It's not about not remaining. They are the defending champion. As far as they are defending champion. Yeah, I understand. Everybody wants to stack up the team. But what I'm trying to say is that why I said they have to just take it easy is that now you've brought in someone in the region of 116 million. Is it pounds or euro now? And I don't think Liverpool have spent close to 100 million, pounds on any player before. And now that player have not even played a match. You are trying to break another record, bring it. And what's the guarantee now that Florian Wirtz will definitely make it at Liverpool?
What's the guarantee Gyökeres is going to make it?
That is what I'm saying now. You look at Gyökeres now and Florian Wirtz. They are different. They are not playing the same wing, and there's possibility. When we were talking about Gyökeres earlier, I said something. I hope he live up to expectation. You understand? Same for Florian Wirtz also. I just feel Liverpool just needs to take it a bit easy. But if you ask me, like the question asks, who is going to suit Liverpool the most? I still think Alexander Isak will do definitely, and at the same time, Viktor Gyökeres also.
Okay, yes. Let's leave if and when the players comes around to these clubs. Okay, is Liverpool trying to find a new money-like attacker in the sport?
No,
or they are just looking for a in striker?
And the way Arne Slot plays is quite different from Klopp. If it was Klopp, they would be looking for another man. When Klopp was there, they already got another type of man, Luis Diaz. And now Luis Diaz is even
been linked to
he's open to leaving Liverpool. But with the way Arne Slot plays, I think he needs more of like Isak kind of player, Osimhen kind of player that can actually switch positions, go in, running behind, running between the lines, break defense lines and all those things. So I think that they are not looking for another man.
Okay, to the comment section, which of these 5 forwards will you love to see at Liverpool? Rashford, Watkins, Wissa, Osimhen or Ekitike? Let us know in the comment section.